Man United with a dominant performance against Wolves in the first half of this game, but ended the game in a thrilling style. Now, Man United started off this game with a lot of dominance, and one of the key players in allowing this to happen was actually Martinez. The introduction of having a ball playing centre back like Martinez really helped this game. There's not many other players in our team who can play line breaking passes into Mainu, Bruno, and Hoyland, for example, in this scenario here. He's able to zip that ball along the floor at a fast pace into these players and break the lines of the Wolves midfield. Another key addition into this team was Casemiro. So let's say this Wolves player was trying to press Martinez here. Now Casemiro's game intelligence and understanding of how to play the CDM role helped us a lot because he was able to position himself in the right moments pretty much at all times during the game. Martinez could play the simple pass here knowing that Casemiro was being pressed because Casemiro has the ability and the composure to just pick out a pass to the side. And it seems very, very basic. But the Casemiro's intelligence and awareness to get into that position to do that helped us a lot today. And we haven't really seen that in a lot of the previous games that we've had. Not only was he able to do this, but he also had the awareness to drop back and play as a third centre back at times and help us build out the back in that manner. Now, today, our biggest threat in terms of when we were attacking was through counterattacks and transition play. Now, when Wolves were pressing us and we were in our own half, we were able to produce a string of passes to get away from this situation. And eventually, we were able to get the ball into Mainu, who would then even pass it into Bruno. And when we get the ball to Bruno, he was always looking to play in Garnacho, Hoyland, or Rashford. Most of the times, it was Rashford. And now Rashford was often in behind Tomato, or Garnacho was often in behind his fullback, and we were able to really exploit the spaces between the wing backs and centre backs and able to get in behind Wolves' defence. Bruno would often play passes over the top, and Rashford would often then go on and latch onto that and get into the final third to create a chance. Now, this was very, very effective today. Will this be effective against most other oppositions in the Premier League? I'm not sure. Will it be effective against the top teams? Probably not. But today, we were able to exploit the Wolves' high line. We were able to win back the ball and play quick passes to break from their press and then play a ball into the wingers, into space for them to run onto and get in on goal. Now, on the goals that we scored and we conceded today, the first goal was a beautiful goal, a lovely dummy from Bruno, and Hoyland did the right thing in setting up Marcus Rashford rather than trying to turn and shoot himself. On the second goal, it was really nice to play on the right hand side for Garnacho to then cut inside and play a lovely pass into Rashford. The run from Luke Shaw to the byline is something that we've seen for a few years now. The relationship between him and Rashford is very, very good. He was able to get in a lot of cutbacks into the box, and we need to see our fullbacks doing more of that throughout the rest of the season. It was a fantastic way for us to create chances today. I think the dynamic of Luke Shaw and Dallow's roles today worked really, really well. Luke Shaw was a little bit deeper, playing almost in a back three, whereas Dallow was inverted, almost playing as a midfielder. But what would happen is whenever the ball went to the wingers, both of them would overlap their wingers. And Luke Shaw in particular got to the byline very, very well. And Dallow helped out Garnacho on the right hand side with a lot of overlapping runs. Now, when Wolves scored their second goal, I have to say that Onana probably should do better. I know it may seem difficult because he is planted in the ground, but the ball comes off his chest. He has to do better. He has to be able to adjust quickly and not be such a statue in goal. And I think our game management towards the end of the game was really, really poor. We were winning by only one goal up, and we brought on Evans and got rid of our attacking options, and we still decided to put all our centre backs forward for a corner. The fact that we didn't have at least five players behind the ball in case they counter was merely just a stupid decision to make. And on the goal they scored, I'm not going to blame Varane. I think he tried to cover the far post. Onana was beaten at his near post. He has to do better there. His positioning was terrible. Luckily, we had a superstar in Mainu who was already having a very good game, especially for an 18-year-old. And then that was pure individual brilliance to dribble past those players, and what a fantastic finish that was to seal the game. Now for the individual players, let's jump into the player ratings. Andrew Onana, I have to give him a 4.5. Did terribly on that cross and should have done better on the second and third goals. Dallo, I have to give him a 6. Pretty average game. Varane had a pretty solid game, 6.5. Martinez, a world-class player, 7.5. Luke Shaw did very well at getting to the byline and getting a lot of cutbacks into the box, 7 for me. Casemiro, other than the penalty, had a very solid game. I'm going to give him a 7. Not only did Mainu have a fantastic game today, but he scored the winner at such a young age. It has to be an 8 for me. Fernandez, 6.5, a lovely dummy on that first goal, but otherwise was a little bit sloppy. Garnacho, gotta give him a 6. Didn't really get too much joy out of his fullback, but played that lovely ball for that second goal. Rashford, a 6.5, probably didn't deserve to start the game, but scored very early on. Hoyland has to be a 7.5 for me. Got a goal and an assist and had fantastic link-up play. Anthony, I'm going to give him a 5.5. Lost the ball a few times, but defended pretty well when he came on. McTominay, 6.5. Quite lucky with the goal, but it was still an important goal for us to score. Forson, I'm going to give him a 6. Maguire and Evans, I'll give them all a 6 as well. I think there's a lot of positives we can take from that first half performance, but we need to be better at the end of the game with our game management. Pushing forward in those last stages was quite a stupid thing to do. Otherwise, we need to build off from that performance. That first half was very, very good. Hopefully, we can get 3 points in the next game.